unselfishness of the group as a whole?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. You know, defensive backs, you know, linebackers, D-line, guys that's out there just doing their jobs. And the thing about it that you worry about sometimes is you see other guys making plays, and then all of a sudden guys try to get outside the framework of the defense, and they go out there and try to make plays. But those guys have been playing within the defense, and when it's their time to make a play, they've been making a play, and they're celebrating. And then when a guy make a play from another position or whatever, they're celebrating with those guys as well and competing.
Obviously, it's understandable to give up yards against a guy like Leonard Fournette, but how much do you sense that your defensive line kind of took that personally about the way he was able to gain yards on them, and how do you think they approached the bye week, and then how much did that affect their play against Georgia?
You know, we talked that guy up too much to those guys. That's, you know, somehow fault, you know, trying to make it all about him, which it was, and I think our guys, you know, pressed a little bit trying to do some things that they weren't accustomed to doing. So, you know, we're going to take some of the fall on that. And those guys, they were pissed off and upset about it. And, you know, what do? You just got to go back to work the next day, and that's exactly what they did. It's all right. Let's move to the next one.
They've now had 2 games this season where they've given up 100 yards to a guy. The next game after that, you guys only give up 69 yards rushing. How does just that speak to how they're able to bounce back as a unit when they're challenged like that?
You know, it goes back to the leadership. You know, those guys, Antonio and JD and those guys on the back end, Bullard, those guys, you know, not accepting. You know, winning ball games is good, but let's make sure that we do our job and we be accountable to each other. And we know what we're capable of doing. I tell them all the time, all we got is all we got, but all we got is enough. So just make sure that you maximize your potential and everything, let it just fall in it, man.
Nick, on the left.
How's the coaching staff? What are maybe some of the tactics you guys use to get guys to play for each other? I think Jalen Tabor mentioned that maybe guys last year were a little selfish, stat-oriented. So how do you get guys to play for one another?
You know, Coach Mack has done a great job of just getting the guys to buy into it, and just showing them facts, stats, and things, and just showing it to them. And I think I said this before. And then when you're doing something, you got to tell these guys why. You know, you got to explain the why. It's the most important thing in coaching, because it's a different era. You know, back in my day, you know, when I played, Coach told me to, you know, run through the wall. And I just ran through the wall and asked any questions. I just did it. Why? Because Coach said do it. Nowadays, you gotta explain to these guys. They gotta understand, why am I doing this? Okay, how is this going to help me? How is this going to help the team? So I think Coach Mack has done a great job of explaining the why. And it's a credit to those guys of trusting and believing in the things that we're trying to teach them daily. And it's on the field, off the field. It's basic things. It's just eating together. You know, mixing up the lines when we do different drills, and when we're off season. You know, we had offensive lineman, defensive back, wide receiver, all mixed up. We didn't make it, you know, offense or defense or special team or defensive line, offensive line. It was a team. And so once the guys were able to see how other guys work, I think they appreciated them more. But like I said, I don't want to be long. But Coach Mack done a great job explaining